I shot this video using a GoPro Hero Plus camera hidden in a piece of driftwood. The first birds to arrive as the tide came up were lesser sandplovers, and you just heard a redshank calling and then flying over, checking out the site. All the birds that you can see in front of the camera now are sandplovers, lesser sandplovers. You can tell they're plovers by the distinctive stop-start feeding pattern. I've moved the location of the camera now because I was observing that the birds were roosting on a slightly drier piece of mud, so I've moved the camera away from the pool in order to try and catch those birds that are roosting. And again, we can see the lesser sandplovers flying back in after I've moved the camera. And now we can see the first Taric sandpipers arriving, 3 birds together. Even though my camera I thought was well concealed in a piece of driftwood, they immediately check it out, and they're clearly suspicious of this new piece of wood on their habitat. It's amazing how observant they are and how alert they are to possible danger, and you can see that they're not very happy with it. Now one of the lesser sandplovers has decided that it's going to roost or rest in front of the camera. This is a nice, fresh, juvenile lesser sandplover. In reality, it's just a few feet in front of the camera, but because it's a fisheye lens, it looks as if it's still quite far away. And now an adult Pacific golden plover flies in, still with some of its black summer or breeding plumage feathers on the belly. There are more lesser sandplovers now. They're the commonest bird on the mudflats. You can hear them constantly bickering with each other. They often engage in little territorial disputes, and they are generally aggressive toward one another. Terns flying in the background are little terns with a distinctive fluttering bat-like flight. Again, a Taric sandpiper looks suspiciously at my log and decides not to come any closer. Finally, a lesser sandplover plucks up courage to come close and have a look at my camera, and you can see how large the eye is. They're a bird that feeds by sight, and they also feed a lot at night, and clearly it's not entirely at ease with what it sees, and it's spooked by this strange alien object. Approaching from the right is a greater sandplover. It's a juvenile in worn juvenile plumage. You can distinguish it from the lesser by its more substantial bill, larger, blockier head, longer legs and longer body, and the legs do look slightly yellowish. Some people approach and the birds are alert and prepare to fly. But first of all, the little terns leave, rapidly followed by the rest of the birds, and you perhaps surprised by how many birds there are on this small patch of mudflats. Most of them are very well camouflaged when they're feeding or resting on the mud. And that's the end of that.